What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for Firewall on Mal Warfare. So Brian, let's hear about the mutation.
Mal Warfare is the map where we have to escort Orana's transport as it purifies security terminals from a rogue AI. We win the game if she purifies all 5 terminals, but we lose if the enemies or suppression towers destroy the transport. Powerful spider mines and widow mines are scattered around the map. All enemy units, including the mines, gain a 100 health shield upon first taking damage. And lava randomly erupts from the ground.
Okay, so I have Tutu and Sticksbender on the Cultivate. Tutu and Sticksbender, are you guys doing well today?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Very good.
We're uncharacteristically starting on time. So, Tutu, how are we going to rate the commanders this week?
So, commanders who can... I guess it's Minesweeper. Clearing the mines is important. And then after you clear the mines, you also need to be able to deal with units that have lots of HP because of the barrier.
That's
and you
true.
need to be able to move around so you can dodge the lava bursts. Well, that's like everything. So highly mobile, strong commanders.
Okay, so strong commanders. Anyway, how about you, Sticksbender?
Let's see. Small, compact armies are good. Heroes are very much good.
Very good.
One annoying thing is that in certain areas, especially around the ramps, the lava can be just completely.
Oh yeah,
invisible.
impassable.
Well,
So
no,
annoying.
worse. It could be invisible because it's just the lava spouts give the little warning indicator, but on several areas on Mal Warfare, that warning indicator is placed under terrain doodads instead of on top of them.
Well, that's annoying.
So thanks, Blizzard.
Okay, let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
Abathur's gonna have to use Swarm Hosts. Against Minesweeper, that's pretty much his only choice. Well, he can do Guardians, but Guardians are really slow because of barrier. So Swarm Hosts will be the way. The good thing is that once you have like 3 Swarm Hosts shooting, it doesn't really matter if your locusts get hit by mines, because you just make more. And pushing becomes really easy. To defend Orana, you just drop Toxic Nests and it'll kill most of the enemies. Especially if you put like 22 points, you should be able to one-shot like any enemy before not everyone, but most enemies before they trigger barrier. Alright, so I put him in C.
Okay, how about you, Sticksbender?
Yeah, so basically, another note that I guess we kind of forgot to mention in the list of things that are important for this week: love bursts do % damage to heroic targets, like % of max life. So ultimate evolutions have a painful and unfortunate day. So yes, that's going to make your life kind of difficult. The barrier is a big DPS problem for swarm hosts. The mines have double HP because for some reason Blizzard thought that the Minesweeper mutator needed all the mines to have double HP. It's just you can do it. It's going to be rough. So yeah, C tier makes sense.
All right, C tier, unanimous. There we go. Arcturus, where do we have him?
Oh yeah.
I don't know how he can clear mines. I used ESOs and I built ESOs on the lava, like on the dangerous areas. So if I lose one, I lose one. It's like, I don't know if there's a better way, but it's basically I built ESOs in the area or on the path to the next area, and I shoot down the next one. If a lava burst shows up, I see it, I will salvage. But if I don't, then I lose it, and it's like whatever. It was hard. It was tough. I don't think any of his troopers outranged the mines.
Nope.
So
I don't think so.
No.
All 5.
All 5. In his Royal Guards, I don't know, maybe the Marauder, but
probably the Siege tank, but
yeah, the Marauder.
didn't
the
try
Marauder has
P2.
6 range. It works. Siege tanks are terrible, but they do technically work.
they do outrange.
I didn't try P2, but yeah,
How
I
about
used
his?
P1 and then just ESO.
How about the Emperor Shadows? They have nuke. They have a mind blasting,
nuke.
right? Yeah, you can also use nuke, but they also have this.
They don't have They don't. Their only spells are they have EMP, which stuns mech but doesn't damage it automatically. And then they have their biological only burn thingy. Their burn spell that only damages biological. Yeah,
Man.
no. The burn damage spell thing on biological only is actually kind of terrible. The only thing Emperor Shadows really are good for is the fact that their EMP stuns mech for 2 seconds and casts feedback on every target hit, which means if there's like a block, if you're fighting like Math's Oracle, an Emperor Shadow presses one button and the entire wave is gone.
Well, at least the Oracle part, but
the Oracle part. Well, some tech levels that is literally the whole wave is like Zealots and Oracles and nothing else, and the Emperor's Shadow could just walk up and say, "Hey, look, an attack wave, pop! Oh, look, it's gone."
Okay.
No
Anyway, where do we have Arcturus?
I'm gonna put him in D.
D. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually convinced. Sticksmithra, how about you?
I still think he's easier than Abathur, but he's definitely going to be putting in legwork because So you're basically just going to make buildings, and sometimes those buildings are going to burn down, and it's going to be unfortunate, but okay. Like, your best way to defend Arana, you just put bunkers around her. What if one dies to lava? Oh well. You clear mines with ESOs. What if one dies to lava? Oh well. They're not expensive, to be honest. It's just, if a building dies to lava, oh well, make another one. You're going to use buildings.
Yeah.
Technically, if you want to have more standing army, you can use something like either Marauders, Emperor's Shadow, Pride of Augustgrad. These all are technically options. I would probably prefer the Emperor's Shadow since that puts more value into Ghost Academies, which are a building that is safe at home instead of an extremely expensive unit on the field.
So you mass nuke.
I would probably mass a bit of nuke support, to be honest, but mostly I would just mass ESO bunker and say, "Oh no, I lost an ESO to lava." Oh,
that sounds a lot of work. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's like you're gonna just build buildings and build more buildings and build more buildings. It's tower defense, but your towers like to spontaneously disappear.
Okay, so where do you have him?
I don't think he sounds easier than Abathur, but not much easier than Abathur, so I would say he's like very much next to Abathur.
So C?
B, except I kind of thought Abathur should be D, so I kind of feel like Megs and Abathur should be together in D.
I think you can move Abathur to D. I kind of see it now.
Okay.
Compared to Alarak, yes.
So Abathur and Arcturus both D?
Yeah.
Are we okay with this? Okay, that makes sense.
I see, because the startup ramp up is kind of slow for Abathur as well.
Okay.
So also for Megs, for people who don't know, the ESOs can reach the third area top tower, the one on high ground, the right side of the third area. So you can hit like everything in that area, but the fourth area you gotta use like you can use
it's just
contaminated
the final area.
strikes.
What if you take player 2's expansion?
The final area.
What if you make your Earth Splitters in player 2's expansion? Can't you reach still?
Yeah, you can only you can reach all but the last objective. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
I don't think it reaches the second one.
Oh yeah, the far north one. Yeah, you're probably not gonna reach that one either without.
Oh yeah.
The lava area.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
one thing you can do is, and yes, this means even more construction work, but to be fair, it means you'll have to rebuild less. So lava can only spawn within a minimum distance of a commander unit, but remember there's a fixed number of lava spouts on the map at any given time. So if you just like build a couple ESOs over there, a couple over there, a couple over there, just scatter them all over the place, the density of the lava spouts will be dramatically reduced.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Because you spread them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's helpful.
Anyway, let's move on. Arty Farty, where do we have him?
Terrible, awful, everything is suffering. Surprisingly, he's surprisingly bad because it's just like any one of these mutators in isolation, Artanis is actually quite solid. Unfortunately, altogether, it's bad. So, for clearing mines, you have Tempests, Dragoons, and Reavers. These are your options that have the sufficient range to actually function. Tempests are going to have a really bad time against barrier waves. Dragoons are fat and die to lava quite a bit. And Reavers are your most niche unit that in most situations is a bad unit, but here is the only option.
So,
barrier is just going to really mess up your Dragoons and Tempests. Your best option is literally going to be you're going to use mostly Reaver based, but you're not going to just like spam out a max out of Reavers. Now you're just going to have like a decent healthy Reaver count. You'll throw Dragoons and Zealots in front of those Reavers. The Reavers have to clear everything. The Zealots have to not kill the mines, but without the Zealots, you will not beat the attack waves. But if you attack the Zealots into the mines, then you're just going to get everything killed because they're going to bait the Spider Mines, which will run at your Zealots, blow up your Zealots, and if any Spider Mines are still around after the Zealots are all dead, which is likely, then they'll keep running and blow up your Reavers and Dragoons, and you just die. So, yeah, even Archon dudes, because of barrier, they don't manage to actually kill mines properly.
yes,
because normally they
true.
can kind of kill mines, but barrier says no. So Archon dudes aren't going to get kills on mines. They're still going to get blown up by minefields if you're trying to blow up enemy bases. At least you have shield overcharge, which lets you survive one mine hit without that even breaking the shield, and the second mine hit will break the shield and take a chunk of your hit points away. But most of your units are tanky enough that actually all your units except probes and observers are tanky enough that if you have full mastery and full shield overcharge mastery, then 2 mine shots will not kill the unit.
Okay.
That's the best thing you got going for you.
So, yeah, ranking.
E or F. I don't know if he's actively detrimental, aside from the fact that you kind of have to make a melee unit and you are kind of dead in the water without it.
How about you, Tutu?
Tier after all.
He's the only one I haven't tried yet. So, I'm not sure how bad it will be, but I'm guessing it's gonna be really bad. I don't think he'll be F because he still has Guardian Shelf if you use P0, and he still has call downs, which can help even if his army's not there. He can like at least take care of some areas. I think E makes sense.
Here's my point of view. I agree that Artanis can't do both defending the bot and clearing mines with ease. But if you have an ally, you can kind of agree to split roles. One of you will keep defending the bot from the towers and the waves, and the other will just clear mines. And in that regard, I don't think Artanis is that bad. I played Artanis with Mass Tempests, and I just went around clearing mines while Tutu defended the bots. Or the transport. I know it wasn't that good, but it worked out okay-ish. But, yeah, I don't know.
The problem with that is that if you end up in a position where, say, your ally's army is out of position to do the defending the transport role, it's just
I'll drop
like,
an Archon dude.
I'll
drop an
you
Archon
can drop
dude.
Archon dudes. Yeah, you can drop Archon dudes. But like, you don't really want to force yourself into an army where it's like, this can do one of the jobs, and that's it.
Well, 1.5 again. You have Archon dudes for the transport. So
yeah.
But yeah, I concede that
Also,
he can't do both with a really hard carry. You can do equal parts, but
I think
hard
you're gonna
carry.
struggle to do your half, to be honest. You can, but it's gonna take work. I will admit that it's probably a lot easier to use Tempest in a duo than it was in a solo, because the problem in a solo was because, again, lava being spread out more because commander units. If you're just by yourself, the lava burst in.
Also, I'm saying right now that I know Arcturus and Abathur are probably better than Artanis, but my experience with Artanis is probably less painful than it would have been with Abathur and Arcturus. Because you need to do so much to get your job done. With Artanis, it's weaker, yes, but it's also easier, if that makes sense.
I'd argue, since your ally was 2/2, with Arcturus or Abathur, you probably could have just made like Math Marauder Mansk or something and just been like, I'm helping.
I was Zagara.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
okay,
if
that
you
might
guys
be a
both
problem.
say E,
Were
I have no...
Were you Zagara with Guardian Shell?
No,
Oh.
he was
F.
P3.
Archon dudes, yeah.
Man, here I was hoping for the memes. I was hoping for the ultimate meme strat.
Well, either way, I'm fully on board if you guys both say E. But all I have to say is, if your ally if you know your ally is sufficiently capable, then you'll probably have an easier time with Artanis, especially if you choose to go Garden Shell. But again, both of you guys say E, so let's go with E. Dehaka, where do we have him?
Dehaka is very good. So with the greater primal worm cooldown, you just summon it in some area, and then you'll see the mines, but the mines don't hit it because it's a building.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can summon a pack leader. He'll get hit by some mines, but it doesn't care because P2 has so much HP that you can continue. And then you have Glevig, the fire breath will clear more mines.
Yes.
Mervar will also clear a lot of mines. Dockrun can hold for quite some time. And then your army will be Mutalisk Guardian, Mace. Or yeah, I would use Mutalisk Guardian because they're more mobile. Probably just Mutalisk because they have 2 life. But yeah, if you use Guardians, you can also clear some more mines if necessary. Probably don't need to. I think he's A.
Okay. How about you, Sixbender?
Man, it took a long time for us to reach a commander who doesn't suck for this mutation. Yeah. Pack leader Gerber. Yeah, Dehaka can just be A. He's just really strong.
Okay.
Like, you have very strong buildings that teleport, you have strong pack leaders, and you have a hero unit with a couple thousand health who can be respawned for a few minerals.
Okay.
Hooray.
Next up, Fenix. Where do we have him?
Fenix. So once again, with the problem of Fenix versus Minesweeper is, so you're probably going to be using robo units, but remember the whole problem with robo units and lava, and it's gonna be painful.
It will be.
You're probably going to still want Caldalis for the waves. Probably. Yeah, to be honest, against an easier comp, Praetor armor by itself might well be enough because Praetor armor very good. But it's still gonna be like, is he a great option? No. Is he a bad option? Probably not. He's at least as good as Elarak, I think, because even though his army is worse suited, at least he has a 9 range hero unit in the form of the Solarite Dragoon. And that's good. And hey, I mean, mines aren't detectors innately, so if you're just clearing mines that aren't near enemy detectors, Arbiter Suit can just say, good news, the mines won't shoot us. Yay!
Okay.
Arbiter Suit is great for clearing mines. It's a detector and it adds cloak, and the mines aren't detectors back, so it's perfect.
They have in C?
Yeah, I could see an argument for him in B, but I think he's in C.
How about you, Tutu?
I used P2, so P2 allows you to have a smaller army. Of course, I had to separately hotkey Warbringer so he can clear mines, and turning on the invisibility was also good to make sure they don't die. The Arbiter suit can summon the Stargate and Robo shells to the battlefield. Some of them may get hit by lava bursts, but if you see them, then you can move them. If they die, then they die because they're cheap. You can have conservators to warp in the gateway shells, and then you use Caldalis Talus to fight once you clear the areas. It's a lot of work. So yeah, I put him in C.
Okay, unanimous. There we go. Han and Horner, where do we have him?
Han and Horner is interesting. They're not that bad because their wraiths are invisible and their raven can stay invisible and teleport and remain invisible. So you can stay invisible and then just shoot down mines without anything hitting you back.
Unless they have detection.
You can use strike fighters to take out the photon cannons or whatever detectors. And the air ones, though, you have to be more careful. So if there's like a Raven or something,
Observer,
then you have to...
Overseer.
Yeah, you use like Call in the Fleet or something, hope it dies.
Or a big hybrid.
Or else, yeah.
That's everything! That's a detector! Yes.
Exactly. So yeah, so like you can clear a lot of the mines. It's unfortunate that their strike does 175 damage to the Widow mines, not 180. Therefore, they get barrier.
Oh, the napalm will still burn it down, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Think
pretty
so.
sure yes. I'm
Yeah.
like 99%
So
certain yes.
where do you have him?
Put him in B.
I like that. Okay, how about you, Stickspender?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Wraith. Being invisible is good for clearing mines. It really is. And strike fighters are good for clearing mines. And yeah, it's basically just going to be a matter of everything's great. What if they have a flying detector? Ah! Send everything! Kill it with fire!
Or magmites.
What did you use for the waves against Arana again? Was that just magmines or?
The later waves, I had my galleons there. My 2 galleons.
Yeah. Generic stuff from galleon. Just galleons with generic stuff. Yeah, works. B makes sense, to be honest. I think that you could also do the same strategy with non-P2 and it would still work. With P1, you would just lean a little more on your magmines as, hey, look, a wave. Hey, look, no more wave. And
look
with
at you,
P3,
Hot and
you would
Horner.
just have more strike fighters, but like Hunter Horner just
higher than Arcturus, higher than Alarak. Look at you. All right.
They did it.
They did it.
Good week.
Okay. Karax, where do you have him?
Winning. So Solar Lance one-shots all the mines. The fire, the burn damage from Solar Lance. Long ago, back in the day, Blizzard decided the Solar Lance burn damage should be wide. How wide? I believe like more than twice as wide as the actual Solar Lance damage width. It's huge. It's just gargantuan. So basically a single Solar Lance can clear out an entire area of mines.
Oh, wow.
So that's silly. The burn damage does 600 damage, so you do not have to worry about the mines surviving with barrier. They are very dead. You can spam buildings, kind of like Manx, where you just spam buildings and say, oh no, I lost some of them anyways. But the difference is, while Manx is, scrambling out of multi-build and trying to make sure his builders don't get vaporized by lava, Karax just has one probe going around, like, boop, that's built, boop, that's built, boop, that's built. And even past that, you can't quite top bar solo, but you kinda can too. Oh yeah, also if you math mirages with the power of phasing armor, they're really tanky, especially if you decide to go unit health mastery. You don't have to, because they survive one mine shot even without unit health mastery. Mirages do. And then phasing armor will give them 2 seconds. So you have a few seconds to realize, oh shoot, that's a minefield, and not get blown up. If you're using mirages. Plus, technically, they can lift mines, but I would not recommend using that strategy. Fun fact, Mutator Widow mines don't have to be burrowed to fire because Blizzard spaghetti code. So if you lift them, you are not safe. If they get dropped on the floor, they can instantly fire the moment they hit the floor.
So
they don't have to reburrow.
Where do you have him?
Oh, I feel like he could possibly be S tier, to be honest. He's just... You top bar everything you building, and then if you want, you can make mirages or some other unit. But like top bar building should just.
How about you, Titu?
I don't think he's quite S, because it's not like it's somewhat comp dependent, not completely though. But then like any heavy anti armor comps might like run over your already burning buildings. Like you have a sporadic defense. You can't really if you concentrate all your cannons in one area, some of them are just gonna disappear to lava bursts. So I do think he's at least A. But
I also think A.
You can't you pretty much can only use cannons because carriers aren't good. Carriers will like drag mines to the other carriers. And then you can use mirages, but they don't hit ground. You must you're gonna have to use a lot.
Using the mirages for is just for the towers.
Mirages for the towers? the
towers.
suppression tower. Ah, okay. Yeah, I just made more cannons,
I
and
would
like the
too, to be
cannons will hit
honest.
the
Yeah.
cannons will hit the towers.
Yeah.
So like he's fine, but I think if you're like if you don't have like solar efficiency 3 and then yet early on you might run out of energy because if you spam too much because of on the barrier units if you
Yeah.
so I think he's A. It's
A?
not I have other S candidates who are much easier.
Yeah, fair. And I agree he's A, mostly on the basis of the fact that immortals exist, so I'm okay with A.
Sure. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan. 25 points in immobilization wave takes out the mines, no barrier. You do that you do that every 2.5 minutes, and you got like everything cleared. You make Omega worms, so you can like stall them. You can get your army to pop in and out, or you can get brute lords if you want.
I want. I did. I like dude lords.
But then you have to worry about them like getting hit by lava bursts. I put her in A because immobilization wave is really good.
Okay. How about you, Sticksbender?
To be honest, Karax S was like very optimistic, but I kind of feel like Kerrigan's like quite a bit better than Karax, even. Because I kind of forgot. I forgot that we have the power of immobilization if one tapping mines. But even still, I think she's extremely good if you use the method I usually use, which is P2, and just zap the mines by you punch a worm, you press Q in place. You punch a worm, you press Q in place, and then eventually every mine within like 15 radius of Kerrigan doesn't exist anymore.
I think I might. I think I might even prefer P2 over P3. I know P3 can use kinetic blast, but again, that thing comes up when Kerrigan uses kinetic blast. She's in range of the other mines, or with attacking range, and then she runs forward and then gets killed. My goodness.
Yeah, honestly, but you could use like P0 to be honest, if you're worried about that, because like frankly, like literally, just use immobilization wave to mass nuke all the mines on the face of the earth. Like you can just do pretty much almost all the forward clearing with just immobilization wave alone. And if you time it when waves spawn to go for Arana, you can just casually catch them in the crossfire and they get instantly vaporized. Like immobilization wave is just an amazing spell.
Yeah.
It's like half of Kerrigan's commander power is wrapped up in that one spell if you're not P2. Literally, it's that extreme. I guess I can see A just because her army isn't good.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah, alright.
Even if they get to hide in worms. But I think she's gonna be top of A.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see too many S candidates. Never mind. Kerrigan, you're not getting S, sorry.
Nova, where do we have him?
So your hero unit can mines quite efficiently with if you use P3 especially, that way you can just walk her around hugging the mines, and that way you make sure you don't miss any, because you don't have to worry about not seeing mines because you were trying to stand far enough away to not get hit by them, but also close enough to detect in order to see them all. Now, if you are using P3, that I would recommend P3 largely just because that way you are less likely to miss any. Also, sabotage drones are just going to delete every single mine, every single base defense, everything. It's just gone. You're going to mostly be looking at your army and just looking over at Nova to cast sabotage drone every now and then. And you might think, oh, you're leaving Nova alone against the lava burst. She's going to get murdered. Yeah, and
buy her again.
literally, it's like, oh no, Nova died. Oh, the horror. Anyways.
Minus 400 kick W.
So Nova is very, very good. Press E, everything dies. And then for army, I don't know, standard Liberator Raven, I guess. It's just there to blow up towers and waves. So it just, like.
Letter.
Why would you use anything else?
Letter.
Oh, AS something. I don't know.
All right. How about you, Tutu?
Good. Her letter is good.
If you use P3, you lose the shotgun, which is good against the which is good against the defending Orana. If you one-shot them, then if you one-shot like smaller enemies, then they don't barrier isn't triggered, which is nice. I used P1, and I just used Liberator Raven, and you throw turrets in front, and then they'll take out the mines at like slowly. Yeah, so I put her in A.
Okay, unanimous. There we go. Without prestige, is she still A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Han Horner without prestige still B?
Still, you do the same thing.
I just went over how they work with any prestige right at the end of Hunter Horner. Remember?
Not really.
Well, I did. Anyways, next up, Suffering, also known as Jimmy.
Yep. Raynor, where do we have him?
F. So what does he clear mines with? I don't know. What does he do? How does he deal with barrier? I don't really know. He has to scan a lot. You waste money scanning. He has barrier. He can't have your large army might get wrecked by the lava bursts. Just terrible. So F.
All right, there we go.
Yep.
I
would recommend using P3, by the way, and just don't use your army. Your army can just like do funky patrol commands over your base, and you
just look pretty.
Just build a bunch of area. Play P3, build a bunch of air units, give them a funky patrol pattern over your base, and only use the Hyperion and Duskwings.
All right.
Pretend to be useful.
Okay, let's go to the. Let's go all the way to the other end of the tier list. Stetboy, where do we have him?
Is he S tier? Possibly. He's just like Nova. It's like what is Stetmann? He is good tier. That is yes. You just kind of throw Zerglings at things and things die. Zerglings don't die to mines because of course they don't. Why would they?
Why would they?
Why Blizzard thought Hardened Shield for Stetlings should apply to spells, we're not certain. However, what we do know is it does apply to spells, and therefore Zerglings don't care about most things in life.
I mostly just stay quiet and say thank you that I can actually help other people, even though I'm not that good. I just play Stetboy, and by virtue of playing Stetboy, I am good.
So I will note that because the minefields are deliberately AI, like the spawn AI for minefields is they literally spawn in clusters. And those clusters do have enough that your Zerglings will die if you just aim Zerglings at them. But the thing is, stray mines won't kill them, and more importantly, oh no, I lost a bunch of Zerglings. Oh, the horror, it's so bad. Anyways, moving along. Gary can just do the entire mission by himself, because of course he can.
Okay, how about you, Tutu?
Yeah, just you don't really care about the links. You just make sure Gary doesn't get caught in a non-Statellite zone and a lava burst appears near him.
You probably have Statelites over unpathable terrain just to give him to have permanent stat zone somewhere. So unanimous S?
Easy S.
All right, there it is. Never fail me, Statboy. Without prestige, still S, right? You're just not super duper. Just regular super. All right, Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov is interesting. P3, like you can clear mines, but it's really it's like you can't move your bunkers forward. So by the time you get to the last area, you're gonna need tanks because of the deep tunnel.
Yeah,
and you probably want to build barracks. So since you don't have to focus on your army too much, you focus your attention on the overseers and making sure they don't get popped by mines. And yeah. But because he can't really get to the last area easily, and at kind of the second area, there's no creep, but he can get there. I put him in B.
Okay, how about you, Suspender?
What did your army actually look like when you got to the last area, Tutu?
I had just bunkers, tanks, and liberators.
How
because
many
I was
tanks
fighting
and liberators?
areas.
Did you have how much did you have left of your bunker count?
I don't know. I don't count.
I feel like you can't have that many bunkers, to be honest, for the final area, because the bunkers are just going to be dead supply for the final area. Honestly, your units don't get to the last area from the bunkers unless you walk the bunkers.
Take a look.
So basically, unless you put your bunkers into danger areas with the lava, the last area, your bunkers are dead supply. So you are going to need to have enough like tanks, liberators, whatever, to actually, have an army to contribute to the final objective. Which,
Can you not go P1 and just mass Diamondbacks?
you could. That would make the earlier parts way harder.
Do they outrange the mines?
Diamondbacks have 8 range.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I'm
never
actually
considered that.
Yeah, and just have an overseer following them. If they dodge a lava burst, then the overseer just follow them with the dodging. So I don't know. I feel like that's a simpler solution than trying to march your infested all the way across the map.
Like the P3 is easier right up until the last objective, and then very suddenly it isn't.
I feel like it's a choice between having a stronger early game or an easier early game and no late game versus a slightly harder early game versus a more capable late game. But this is probably just for me, because I just never transition ever. So where do you have him?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like he can be B tier.
Okay. Unanimous. There we go.
But yeah, you're not going to want too many bunkers for the final. Like, if you have too many bunkers, like literally, I would say once you get to the final objective, just march your bunkers forward and route them in areas where lava will get them, because it's like, yes, lava will get them, but at least this way they are going to spit out as many infested as they can at the enemies before dying horribly and freeing up supply, as opposed to sitting at home in base, being dead supply, and then you die because your entire army was like
can't even reach. Yeah.
Like,
you should also build like 3 barracks.
Yes.
Anyway, so Swann, where do we have him?
Man, I keep getting all these commanders who are good, and it's just like, I hate when I get all the commanders who are good. I have to decide how good is good. Swann is good. How good is good, I'm not sure. But he is good because laser drill exists. Unfortunately, floating factories aren't detectors. This is like the biggest change that needs to be implemented to Swann in the game today, obviously, is that factories need to become detectors, so that when you levitate factories at minefields, they will detect them. This is literally the most important change that Blizzard could possibly implement to the game. I'm telling you.
Just delete the science vessel and make the factories detectors.
Yeah, literally delete the science vessel. Factories should be detectors now. Science vessel heals a placebo anyways. The heal rate on science vessels is actually laughably low if you look at the actual numbers. Yeah.
Wait, am I hearing that we need a buff on science vessel heal?
Possibly. Their heal rate is a lot worse than the medic.
There you go, Blizzard. Buff science vessels. Anyway,
yeah,
so
science vessels are awful.
So where do you have Swann?
So unfortunately, you have to use science vessels instead of just factories because you need something that detects the mines. However, when you are using factories as well, it's not like the mines hit the factories because they're buildings. Yeah.
Well, they have a harder time dodging the lava because they're slower?
True, but they also can survive several seconds of lava to the face. I feel like he'll be somewhere in A and S, right? I don't know. He is good tier. I don't know how good is good.
What do you use to defend?
To defend Urana?
Yeah.
A combination of laser drill and more buildings. Potentially, if you want to be lazy, those buildings can probably just be factories because chonky and laser drill kills everything.
I tried that. So the defense, because he's not Karax, so you can't instant build, and you need lots of SCVs, and they run into lava if they're trying to hug together, and then
they die.
Yeah, I found Swann to be extremely bad.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that Metal Warfare actually has that many more units than any other map that laser drill suddenly doesn't work anymore.
Also, because there's so many mines to kill, and they all activate barrier. So
I really thought that you were going to be able to just play Karax, but easier here. But okay.
So
I tried using the just clearing areas with pulse cannon and concentrated beam, then dropping SCVs to make turrets. That that plan doesn't work. That plan didn't work because like I couldn't keep enough turrets alive and couldn't keep my SCVs alive because they keep like I get some turrets up and then they'll die to fire, or like if they're repairing they'll get targeted down, or the turret that I just built that gets hit by a lava burst or something, and it was bad. So I used Herc Tank.
Ew.
Herc Tank was better,
Serviceable.
but it was still not that great.
Herc Tank never is.
I put
Alright, then.
Swann in D.
D.
If you have to use Herc Tank, that fits. That's awful. All right. I've mentioned Mel Warfare as a terrible map before in terms of like the sheer quantity of enemies. I didn't realize how. I guess it really is that bad. I hate Mel Warfare.
I don't know. I think it's fine.
Mel Warfare has the most units per time of any map, and it's not even vaguely close. Like there's not even a comparison.
Including Dead of Night?
A lot of stuff. If we adjust for actual unit strength, yes.
All right, fair. So, Tutu had him in D. Do you concede with D, Stickspender?
I'm disappointed in your laser drill, Swann. You've disappointed me. You are D tier now.
Aw, D for disappointing.
D.
I guess it's still D without prestige, right? Still D without prestige.
I did P0.
Yeah.
I had to use P0.
Yeah.
Not P3?
No. P3, I needed the cooldowns to clear mines.
Oh boy.
Oh well.
I think P3 tanks are still going to be better if you get the feel for them, but to be honest, I'm not going to recommend that as being superior for most people, because P3 is better for me with Swann, because what I do is I literally am unload all the tanks, fire up a volley, pick up while I'm waiting for the attack cooldown, and put them down again as soon as the attack cooldown is down. Like, my tanks spend a few milliseconds on the ground at any given time. That's why I use P3.
Yeah, so they're like...
I'm not going to recommend that to most people, because that's probably not how most people are going to use P3 now, is it?
Wait, how do most people use P3? Assuming they get
like
there.
A bad P0.
Bad P0.
Yeah, the point of P3 is literally the fact that it's instant load and unload, so you can literally just be like, hello, I have a wall of tanks for like 3 milliseconds, and they all fire, and then they're all gone again. They're practically firing while inside the Hercules.
So it's like you have a hero, and its ability is called summon siege tanks, and you unsummon them again right away. So your every single one of your volleys is manual, almost.
Literally, yes.
Oh, there we go. Not even almost. Actually, every single wave is every single volley is manual. Doesn't it take time to get to that many tanks though? That's always been
16 tanks.
Yeah.
Not too long.
Not too long. I guess you have.
You go for a build order that prioritizes tanks over laser drill upgrades, because your cooldowns are long anyways. So
That's
you literally
sad.
just go like, we'll upgrade the laser drill later. First things first. 16 tanks.
I become sad every time. I don't know. Ever since the prestige patch came out, I've been even before that. I think I became sad every time I have to not rush laser drill upgrades. Because even before prestige, I like just having top bars early. Just draw a line across the map, bleed everything in that line. Also had the pulse cannon. Oh well. So Swann D? Without
Man,
so
I thought the worst thing was going to be the fact that you'd have to use science vessels, which are terrible.
Oh well. I guess
At least P3 gives science vessels tactical jump.
The Swann memes had their time. It's been a good run, but unfortunately,
we're gonna have to wait for another week before he'll actually come back and be like, anyways, the laser drill can once again kill literally everything, so I'm once again top tier.
Tychus, where do you have him?
Tychus, you don't really do anything different except you open with a fixer instead of Sirius. Well, at least I opened with a fixer.
For detection.
Yeah.
So you don't go P2 here?
No lone wolf, because Tychus is blind, so
yeah,
he needs help. So other than that, he's like really strong. You don't play that much differently, and Odin nukes clear an entire area with the mine. So A.
All right.
I thought
how about
only had 5 range? Am I wrong?
I think he's for
I
detection.
used Vega, and I steal the mines.
I'm pretty sure Vega is the only fixer who outranges the mines. Nikara obviously doesn't have an attack, and Tychus doesn't outrange the mines, so your options are Vega or Sirius.
I was thinking Sirius still, but anyway. So how about you?
I would definitely go Sirius, but Vega works, but it is you start with Vega or Sirius. You do not start with anyone else. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so where do you have him?
Oh, he's probably still A tier.
Still A tier?
But like literally your starting outlaw has to be one of those two, or you are going to do nothing.
Well, until you have the next one. Until you have the next one available.
You're going to do nothing until you have one of those two outlaws, basically, in terms of mine clearing. You're going to be completely incompetent until those. Because Tychus does not outrange mines, and as much as he can face tank a lot, he can't face tank infinitely. If you do use P2, he can face tank even more, but it's not a sustainable solution to face tank mines.
Or you can go Blaze and just take 30 damage per.
Yes, of course.
The meme strats.
Strategy. I am unkillable, invincible.
So, A?
Try that.
All of us agree on A?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Vorazun, where do we have him?
Oh my gosh, total S tier. You just Shadow Fury everything. No, she's terrible. Literally just this is gonna be suffering. So yes, you are going to use Shadow Fury to clear mines, obviously. That's just kinda obvious. How are you going to see the mines?
Oracles.
Ouch. Yes, oracles. Ugh, oracles. Cannons will probably be almost better than oracles for mine clearing. It's that bad. Oracles are awful against lava because you're going to just have to babysit them, and your Dark Templar is just so much babysitting, and this is going to be like,
change your name.
Awful detection.
Change your name from oracles to awfuls.
Oracles are awful detection. Like, the power of oracle is stasis ward, and that's it.
All right.
They are there to stunlock ground units.
Letter.
Can they detect? Yes. Are they Vorazun's only mobile detection? Yes.
Yes.
Are they good at being detection? No.
Okay, letter.
So, I'm not sure about an exact letter. She's somewhere in the lower tiers. I'm just not quite certain how bad.
Well, we can almost just dump her in D tier.
Yes, of course.
One of those guys.
Dump her in D tier with a bunch of other guys. I don't know. Whereabouts would you put her to? How bad do you think Vorazun is? Just how bad?
Went against a Terran comp, which made things easier. But if you're not Terran, then it's gonna be a lot harder. You use time stop to snipe the ravens in the next area, and then and the static D, like the turrets and stuff, or you can use the void stasis, and then you get free rain.
Don't they scan?
No.
Okay.
At least they didn't.
I don't think they do on this mission. Usually, I don't think.
At least they didn't scan me. But yeah, I didn't find it to be extremely difficult, but that's only because I picked Terran enemy. So if it's not a Terran enemy, I don't think it would be easy at all.
Wait, what if you get Protoss, you get a Dark Archon, and you might control an observer?
It will die to that is that's a comedic quantity of gas, and then the Dark Archon just decides, hey, look, a mine. I'm gonna walk over and attack. Oh, I just baited spider mines into my entire army. I no longer have any units.
I did make 2 Dark Archons to steal the 2 battle cruisers in this area.
Not a complete meme.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, right. That's right. There are battle cruisers, and Vorazun has to. Literally, Dark Archons. The biggest purpose of the Dark Archon is literally, if the Dark Archon mind control was replaced with delete a unit completely from the game, that would probably be a buff.
Okay,
because
so
at least it wouldn't be dead supply.
So, letter.
Awful.
D or E?
All right, let's put her in.
I would say
D. I think D. Maybe E.
D is for. I don't know. D is for Terran and Zerg. E is for the Protoss. That's what I feel.
I mean, I know I would have a much easier time with Vorazun than Artanis, even against not Terran. Even if I wasn't doing that whole time stop run and kill all the detectors.
Well, that's you, so.
I'd have an easier time with Vorazun than Artanis.
Then
I
Artanis.
would prefer Vorazun over Artanis. Like, Artanis is not good, but I think that she could still go in E tier, and it wouldn't be the end of the world, to be honest, because she's not. She's still really bad.
Does
She's just
do her
higher than
call
Artanis
downs
in
make
E tier.
her? Do her call downs bring her up to D?
Yeah, her saving grace is that later in the game, when you time stop, you have way more Shadow Guard. You can probably
Hooray.
delete.
Way more Shadow Guard to get killed by a single spider mine that you missed when it has detection.
Well, I
And
was
then the
actually
time runs
thinking.
out.
I was actually thinking. When you drop time stop, you wait until you have. You know that suppression tower that spawns in the very back of the base. I was thinking.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it is. Okay, but flip side, you know what else will one shot a suppression tower? Solar bombardment. This does not save Artanis from being bad.
All right, fine. So E tier it is. So Zagara, where do we have him?
I just beat it with her today.
How?
It was
okay.
hard. It was really great.
It was a very interesting experience.
It was file launchers. Yes, I had to use file launchers in the last area. I
remember how we talked about
Overlord.
Mansk, but 1,000 times worse.
Okay, does she join the E club or D?
No, she is F.
F?
Yeah. Like Tutu, she's F, right?
Yeah, I think it's like she's her only ranged units are hunter killers, and like if you don't have P3, it's like F minus.
All right, there it is. F.
Yeah, she's
worse.
really
she
bad.
is worse than Jimmy. I would rather have like Jimmy's Hyperion Duskwing spam than Zagara.
Okay, Zeratul. Where do we have him?
Yo, here's our other S tier probably because Cannon's good.
Yeah. Tutu, did you mine?
Mine what?
Did
Minerals.
you mine?
With Zeratul.
Oh, did I mine?
Yes.
I tried no mining. The I got to the third area and then the behemoth keeps killing me because I can't.
I'm gonna point out the reason that you were unable to do no mining probably comes down to the fact that I remember when I believe it was Terribleness who was doing the original no mining with Zeratul on every single map with no mutators. This was the hardest map for no mining Zeratul, no mutators. So even without mutators, it's incredibly hard to no mining this map.
Interesting.
So with mutators, with any mutators whatsoever, I highly doubt it's possible to.
Well, you know,
do no
Tutu can make miracles sometimes. So
almost, I'm pretty certain that there are almost no mutations on this map that are no mining possible for Zeratul. Some of them probably, but it would be really tough.
No,
Mass
I
manufacturing.
tried no mining on a different malwarfare mutation that was easier than this one, and I got stuck in the third area, so I just decided this one's even harder. There's no way.
All right.
Yeah, like literally no mining, 0 mutators, malwarfare, insane.
Okay, so S tier
with mutators, yeah.
S tier.
But S tier anyways because Cannon's good.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So there's our tier list for this week. There it is. So rankings.
It was so close to being a big F, but unfortunately Vorazun just does not deserve D tier.
So who's better between Stetboy and Zeratul?
I would honestly say Zeratul.
Zeratul.
All right, there we go.
Cannon's really good.
Cannons are really good, yeah. And they don't get stolen by Amon this week.
Yay!
Anyway, who's the best among the A's?
Kerrigan? No.
Yeah, I think Kerrigan.
Dehaka? No.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Dehaka or Kerrigan? It's one of those two.
Well, I'm gonna put it here preemptively. So among the next three, who's the worst? Tychus?
I think the least good I think is Tychus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Because I think Tychus is the least good A.
Yeah, the least good A. So
Nova.
Do we switch Karax and Nova, or do we just keep them there?
No, Karax is definitely better than Nova.
Okay, do we switch Kerrigan and Dehaka?
Kerrigan clears better, Dehaka defends better.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess we can keep Kerrigan ahead just because if you're gonna have an ally, if your ally's gonna struggle with something, it's probably gonna be mine clearing. So we put a premium to mine clearing over defending the transport. Since your ally
Kerrigan has the ease of use that comes from like the flip side with like Dehaka has very terrible detection for mines, so you're going to have to worry about, keeping track of your detection.
Yeah.
Kerrigan has the flip side of even if it's your ally who's having trouble with mines, you can literally always just say, I cast Summon Detector.
Yeah. With 1,000 health, by the way. Anyway.
With 1,000 health, and it's immune to mines.
And it's omnipresence for Kerrigan. Anyway.
So, yeah, I cast Summon... On the basis of I cast Summon Detector, Kerrigan is the top of A tier.
Okay, B. Who's better between Han and Horner and Stukov?
I think it's Han and Horner.
Wow. Cool. Alright.
Yeah, because they can actually be used.
I didn't actually foresee Han and Horner being this
they
good,
can actually do the last area, exactly.
Alright, there it is. Alarak and Fenix, do we switch them? Or do we keep them?
Alarak is definitely the top of C, still.
Okay.
Even though there's only 2 people in C, Alarak is definitely the better of the 2.
Okay. D. Who's the best between Abathur, Arcturus, and Swann?
Arcturus.
Yeah, if you do nothing but ESOs, at least you can use Contaminated Strike over and over.
D is basically a competition of who has the meanest scowl.
Definitely Arcturus.
Definitely Arcturus.
Look at that face. Arcturus wins that easily.
I would switch Manx and Abathur, and then Swann at the bottom.
Like this?
That seems fair to me.
Alright, there it is. So for E, who's better between Artanis and Vorazun?
Vorazun.
Vorazun?
Vorazun.
And for F, who's better
Jimmy.
between...
Jimmy.
Okay. Alright, there it is. Alright guys, so these are the commanders for this week's mutation. If you want an easy time, use Zeratul with cannons, or Stetboy with Zerglings. Honestly, it doesn't matter whether you have prestige or not, these two will be amazing.
Man,
for A...
what other weeks have I heard that before?
I don't know. We never ever mentioned that, did we?
Stetmann and Zeratul are like never the 2 S tier commanders. Like that never happens.
For
They're
A,
definitely not broken.
For A, Kerrigan, I think just pick a prestige that you're good at and stick with that, I guess. Dehaka, go P2. Karax, you can go P3 or... Yeah, you can go P3.
Yeah, P3. Go P3.
Nova, P1 or P3 works. Tychus, not P2 because you need Outlaw to stick beside you.
Sirius with P2 works just fine. You can.
Sirius with P2 works just fine. Sure.
If you're good with P2, go P2. If you don't want to use P2, you don't have to. This
Alright.
is not the best week for P2, but it's definitely not a bad week for it.
For B tier, if you really want to, you can also go Han and Horner. I guess P1 because that's... Wait, P2, right? P222?
P2 was the
Alright.
one 2-2 recommended.
Rates,
And
yeah.
I'd say that's probably the best.
Alright, you go Rates
they're all
and
pretty
Ravens. Alright, and for Stukov, you can either go Bunkers and just hope your ally's strong enough for the last base, or you can go Diamondbacks and hope your ally's strong enough to support you throughout. So there it is.
Go Bunkers and then let all the bunkers die to lava while you spam Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Alright, so hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Watch 2 and 6 banner channels. I will link them below. And I will see you guys next time.